especially in this duo like you talked about. And I think what we're going to see is the Bayonetta kind of dealing the damage, coming in and out of the fight, getting Zelda out of danger, and then Zelda coming in to clean up after the damage has been dealt.
Especially like when you consider that all she really needs is a well-spaced fair or bear, that lightning kick will absolutely evaporate stocks. And when one Bayonetta combo puts them at 70% when the lightning kick will kill, you kind of got a recipe for disaster if you're blue team. But on the other side, too, we're talking so much about the red team comp.
Yeah.
The combination of Palutena and Cloud, two top tiers, two of the strongest characters in Ultimate's history, like that can never be a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's something I wanted to mention, too, is the consistency of both of these two characters as well. Palu and Cloud, very consistent characters, very strong kill options. We're already seeing the combos come out onto the Zelda, and Cloud just dispatching of the Bayo on the other side. They can't help the Zelda in this current moment.
Yeah, and that's something that's going to serve this blue team super, super well, is keep these two broken up. We were talking about how well they would serve to support each other with this character composition, so what do you do to avoid that? Well, you keep them on opposite sides of the stage of each other, fighting two different 1v1s, and all that teamwork goes to waste.
Yeah, and it seems like they're doing just that, but plenty of damage tacked onto Cloud. Here comes the Bayonetta damage coming through, but Palu with the up air to get their character partner out of dodge. Back and forth, though.
My dad looking for a couple of those fairs. Nothing connecting yet, and tries for a cheeky little snipe with the up B.
Okay.
Back air from center stage, not going to be enough to KO. My dad going out deep to try and catch the Cloud on his route back to the stage, but instead is just going to lock herself into a ledge trap. That Cloud F-tilt will more than do the job, and first blood goes to the blue team.
Exactly, and that's the consistency we talked about last. That F-tilt from Cloud able to seal the deal, but the up B from Zelda will take a kill off the top, and looking for a little bit of a team combination here. Cloud swinging through and missing the cross slash, unfortunately, and Bayonetta on the other side tacking up some damage, but the Witch Twist is not gonna find much.
Cloud's still alive though at 157, and that just means rage. As long as he can continue to hold on, Bayonetta's gonna have a real hard time killing this Cloud.
Exactly.
Able to get back up with the get up attack and pops into your own teammate's attack. Unfortunate for Genesis. He's going to lose that stock in the blink of an eye.
Okay, that should be a kill here. Oh,
no,
the dash attack
save
comes through from the Palu to save their teammate just in time. And Cloud living on a thread here, 182%, being very evasive. Great air dodge as well. My dad stuck at disadvantage. The dash attack comes through with the punish. Still alive. The Bayo can't get it done, but the forward throw will be enough. And off the top as well to the Palu.
And that actually, despite all the action that was going on, has brought us to a near perfect even game. 2 stocks and 1 stocks, 2 stocks and 1 stocks, and almost even percents. This is anybody's match.
Yep, all sorts of stocks here. The market's looking open. Nice parries coming through, though, from the blue side. And here comes a combo from Bayo. Able to get out of dodge, though. The forward smash not going to connect. And now My Dad setting up on the right. Exactly. More projectiles coming out from My Dad, spacing around. The Bayo is going in, fighting this Palutena, racking up damage. A dash attack from Cloud, and the forward smash from Bayo, but the punish is happening all back and forth while the Zelda just sits in the corner, man.
And that's what Zelda does best sometimes. Just throw out a couple projectiles, set up that Phantom, and let your teammate be the frontline warrior. Speaking of being a frontline warrior, it goes very, very wrong for Genesis. As he's looking for a classic Bayonetta combo, Cloud falls out and then follows up with an up air. Now Genesis all by his lonesome, 1 stock remaining and gonna have to deal with 3.
Yeah, and it was looking so even just a moment ago last, but all of a sudden the blue team has beginning to close the book on this last stock from the Bayonetta. 37% is not too much. Maybe they could find some more damage. Maybe could find a kill. It might not look too terrible, but off the right side now.
There is an inroads, so to speak, for Genesis in this game. If they manage to take out the Palutena, force a shared stock, then get 1 more KO on Cloud.
You know?
Speaking of which, are we going to see the shared stock here?
Have to.
Have to see the shared stock, and now Cloud at 128 has to be so careful. 1 back air at the ledge, 1 quick edge guard, then it's a 1v1 with very winnable stakes for Bayonetta.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility just yet, but the team combinations are coming through, finding more and more percent. 85 and climbing, here comes a Bayo combo, not gonna be enough to kill. Oh, the whipped grab, and here comes some more damage, but smart to not continue it, though. Doesn't want to get punished too hard.
Genesis is just doing everything that he can to stay alive in this. The dash attack just barely kills. Cloud had just reached 150% and so achieved full rage, and I think that gave just the tiny bit of an extra push necessary for that dash attack to kill off the top.
Yep.
And that is going to be game 1, but blue team cannot rest on their laurels after how that ended.
Yep, very chaotic, and there was a little bit of a shade of a comeback for Genesis there. Almost able to do something at the end, but not quite enough. The dash attack will find its mark, but regardless, I think if they could make some small adjustments here, if My Dad can hold on to the stock just a little bit longer, that would have looked a little bit prettier for them.
Absolutely. The fact that Genesis was nearly able to do it in the 1v2 means that if My Dad stays alive, it gets way easier. But
exactly.
Of course, Jimena and Square, they got into that situation for a reason. They brought it to that 1v2 through a lot of their own efforts. And I think if that's their strategy of focusing on the Zelda, making sure that she dies first, that's a perfectly good strategy for them.
Yep. And on the other side of things, if Palu and the Cloud can maintain this control that they've displayed so far in the first game, if they can maintain it on Kalos here. This is the counter pick for My Dad and Genesis. No shot, this is another button. Yeah, we're back.
No, we're going. And I do like this as a counter pick stage for a team of Bayonetta and Zelda, because we were talking about how mobile Bayonetta is, so she's not going to have all that much trouble with the extra space afforded by Kalos. And Zelda, she can camp all the livelong day on this stage.
Exactly. I think that's why they picked it here. We see Zelda setting up the Knight, gets the up B. Not going to kill off the top. The large blast zones of Kalos helping out Palu in that moment. Zelda just fighting, but here comes Bayonetta combos. But that up air once again disrupting the combinations. It's a great disruptive tool.
Yeah, but look at how much damage has been done to the entire blue team. Like, they're managing to disrupt these combos on each other, but maybe a little bit too little too late. By the time they get in to save their teammate's already almost dead.
Exactly. There's a combo and the up smash. Oh, I think the Bayo wanted to connect there, but Cloud finds his mark instead. But there we go, off the right side. Unlucky for My Dad, and now Bayo has to play with 2 stocks instead of 3, but there we go. The lightning kick from My Dad will dispatch of Palu's stock, and Cloud almost falling to the wayside, looking for an edge guard. Nope, able to air dodge through, but it's not going to be enough. The air, or the jump from the platform there, not going to be enough.
And despite not quite making it back to stage there, Square has done such a good job throughout this set of just staying alive. We've seen Square's Cloud live all the way up to like 150% minimum every single stock. And don't forget, in that first game, that first stock lasted for almost the entire game.
Yep, exactly. Cloud has been living a very, very long time, but so far, this is not looking too bad for the red team. My Dad's still holding on to their first stock and only 101, which is pretty good for Kalos. These high blast zones, Zelda will be living for a very, very long time. Utilize this up B to just get away, camping on this right side as well.
Yeah, My Dad has just been up being back and forth, and it has been working quite well. But limit break, neutral B, going to be plenty enough to close out that stock, and My Dad joins the rest of the crew on 2 stocks.
Ooh, that up B. The lightning kick once again. My Dad not afraid to let it rip and teleporting back to the center, but finds a grab from the Palu, and Bayo's just stalling out here. Where are we going?
I actually disagree with that choice for mainly one reason. Like, if you're out of resources, you're going to die. Fast hold onto the blast zone as fast as you possibly can, because while you're down there stalling, your teammate's getting 1v2'd. Go help them.
Yep. A little bit of a mistimed recovery there from Genesis. My Dad struggling to find their footing on stage, 97%, but it is still relatively even. The limit cross slash is going to be punished by the up air from Zelda, destroying that stock, and now the blue team with only 1 stock apiece to play with, whereas My Dad and Genesis have 3 in total.
Ooh. An opportunity for a little bit more, not quite taken off the witch time, and now My Dad having a pretty tough time landing past these Cloud up tilts. Eventually does get down when Square decides to focus his attention on Genesis instead. Jimena going to be able to get back to stage pretty comfortably, and has been for the entire time, but at 129, I was about to say Jimena has to be careful, and now Jimena doesn't have to be careful because he's out of the game.
Man, limit cross slashes and lightning kicks are the name of the game for the stocks in this game. Cloud in a bad position here. There is no way you're making this back.
You're Omega dead.
Yeah, you're gone. Even if you have your jump, I don't think you make that back. Genesis making sure to dispatch of that stock doubly so, and now we are at 1 game apiece for both teams.
This is, of course, round 1 pool, so it's only best of 3. This next one going to decide it one way or the other. The counterpick stage worked out super well for Genesis and My Dad. That Kalos probably going to be immediately banned by Jimena and Square. They do not want to let them run that back ever again.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be making a return to Kalos, and if we do, it's a mistake. Definitely want to be going to a different stage. We saw how My Dad and Genesis were able to utilize those blast zones specifically and the platform setup to stay alive much longer than normal. And Town and City is going to be the choice. Similar blast zones in regards to the roof, but we're getting a switch up. Okay.
Double switch up. Jimena.
Maybe not.
Okay, Square probably still going to stick to the Cloud, but they're discussing it. Regardless of what Square picks, Jimena onto the Sonic. Tell me about that.
Okay, I think the Sonic pick is a sign that they want to slow things down. I think they don't want to go in so much with both. Yeah, ironic because Sonic is so fast, right? But I think they definitely want to slow down the pace. And as I say that,
maybe not.
Jimena goes right in with the Sonic, very aggressive. Perhaps I was wrong about that last.
Maybe I misjudged you.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
And Jimena's Sonic already putting in a whole lot of work.
Very aggressive.
52% dealt up and counting to this Bayonetta. Cloud just kind of playing second fiddle to the aggression of this Sonic.
And that's honestly the exact opposite of what I expected here last. Usually Sonic tends to be the stock tank in these situations, tends to use their evasiveness to avoid early stocks, but here comes some combinations from Bayonetta, both teams fighting on the opposite sides. Cloud does have limit available. Are we gonna see a cross slash? But it's not gonna connect.
But we did see a cross slash.
We did. You know, I did predict that correctly at least.
Genesis and Jimena just kind of facing off against each other as the two more mobile characters. And it's Genesis that comes out on top first as Jimena becomes the first to fall. And then
Once
Genesis
again.
just Bayonettas. You know, that happens.
You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes you just don't realize how many resources you have left and you will fall to the wayside. But the golf swing from Cloud will take that Zelda to the top. Bayonetta trying to get some damage to make up the deficit, but Cloud still chilling on 3 whole stocks here.
Ooh, great read on the roll through. Gets a grab, but not able to follow up thanks to Square. Square quickly gets pieced up by that Phantom, though. Goes down.
Yep, ledge trap situation, able to get through. My Dad once again snapping the ledge. Back to center. Both combatants just fighting. Which time into the back air. He was looking for something even more. Couldn't quite find it. Getting a combination off the side. That'll be damage. Cloud trying to disrupt, but eats a little bit of the combo himself.
Oh, now it's your turn.
Yeah, like just get into the blender, man. Okay.
Something a little bit more difficult just because of the fast-paced nature of doubles is punishing that special lag on Bayonetta's landing after these big combinations.
And the parry is not going to be enough on that multi-hit. Zelda finding a forward smash, and Sonic maybe being a little bit too aggressive for his own good, has 1 stock remaining. It's looking very dire for the blue team currently, but stock is given away by Bayonetta. Now, relatively even here. As close as it can be.
Just about looking for these fares on shield, and it was working at the start of the set, Square, but they think they've wised up to your tactics here. Those are not safe, and they are getting you punished quite a bit. Has limit, though. Might not get to use it. Be careful. It does. All right.
Yep, finds the cross slash, some extra damage. Bayonetta sharking for this kill while the Sonic fights the Zelda on the other side. That neutral B will cover Zelda's recovery there, but still stuck. The forward air from Sonic will take it, but Cloud is still living on 170. We see this stock tanking once again last.
Yeah, and it is coming through huge, but now Square going to join everybody else down on 1 stock. This could very well come down into a 1v1.
It really could.
To solve all of this. Going to be a little bit of damage. Genesis trying desperately to catch out Jimena's recovery. Air dodge high, gets you caught, and a taunt in the corner. Genesis brings it to a 1v2.
Yep.
Square all on his lonesome, 73-83 now. It's looking all but over.
It's looking dangerous. The Nair from Zelda setting up the Night ledge trap. How do we get out of this situation? The answer is we do not. My Dad set up everything in that ledge trap. Didn't even need their teammate. Took care of it with the Knight, and that will be red team moving on.
Well, and the scary part, too, is that even though it looked like Genesis wasn't quite involved in the ledge trap there, if somehow Square had gotten around the setup being tossed his way, you know, gotten over top, avoided the up smash, avoided the Phantom, Bayonetta still would have been there with a back air, and you still would have died and lost the set. So great stuff to Genesis and my dad. They're going to be moving on, and our next set, as we're being informed by production, is going to be Fatality and Sonito versus Baku and Ortzak.
Okay.
That is a little bit of a difficult name to read on the fly.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't mess that one up.
I'm going to. I'm sorry, Ortzak. Should have picked a less hard-to-say tag.
Ortzak and Baku. Very, very fancy names. Fatality and Sonito, of course, on the other side of things. We've seen these players time and time again. Both from Georgia, obviously. Some of the most well-known players from Georgia, I would say.
Yeah, the old guard of Georgia, especially in the form of Fatality, all the way back in previous Smash games and all throughout most of Ultimate. Now he's a Street Fighter player. We don't see him play singles anymore, but he still likes doubles.